Welcome to Tiki Central, Canada. Ever wonder what's in that cool, refreshing drink that you just have to have on that hot summer's day? Me too. Picture a man going on a journey beyond sight and sound. He has left society. He has entered Tiki Central with palm trees, beach sand, blue skies, and God, get me a drink now. Here are your hosts, Craig and Cam, and their wacky views in drinks, life, and maybe information. Hey folks, and hey, how we doing? It's Craig here from Tiki Central Canada, and I'll be your, okay, Cam, wait your turn.
I'm just excited to be back.
He's so back that he's so excited. I think he's actually announced the show from now on. Here we go. So anyway, yes, I am Craig. I'm your host, your mixologist, and your bartender for the show today. And of course, yes, Cam is here, as you've heard.
I'm the village idiot.
No, wait a minute. Ottawa's not exactly a village, but I mean, okay, we'll go with
It's still got a small town feel.
So primitive you are. Oh my God.
Hey, we've got a light rail system now that's almost working.
Again, we're so primitive here, aren't we?
Yeah. Who would have thought that doors would be a problem?
That's hilarious how a door stops the entire system. I love it. So also, if you've noticed there that it's kind of quiet on one end of the scale because Paula is not here. Mm-hmm. She's at her honeymoon, and I guess she's probably in Dubai, I think, right now.
Fancy.
Saw the picture. She's skydiving today.
Yeah? As long as she's not base jumping off the Burj Khalifa there. Yeah. I think that's frowned upon unless you're Tom Cruise. So
yeah, he's the only one who could pull that off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, yeah. I'm sure she's like basking in the sun wherever she's at. So yeah,
but I'm actually really glad she's not here. No offense to Paula, it's just that looking at the smorgasbord
of stuff
arrayed
on the table
in front
here.
of me here, I'm a pretty happy camper. That just means more for me, I think.
Well, if you think about it, if she was here, she'd be like, I can't drink any of this.
Yeah, but for somebody who doesn't drink, she's pretty good at drinking.
Oh no, for sure. Hey, she has her moments. That's for sure. So yes, this is a very special episode. So we want to explain this episode a little different than our normal format. There's no drink of the show today. There's not going to be any history of the drink today. So what we're doing is that through time, people have asked me through time, Craig, what kind of rum should I have on my bar? I notice every single one of your drinks is like a new rum I got to buy. What are some suggestions? And so this episode is strictly rum tasting. And I can see Cam's lips already watering as we talk about it.
I'm a lucky boy, folks.
So we have on the table here about 10 different kinds of rum we're going to try out.
Well, and it's amazing the differences in color of the various rums. You know, they go from everything from clear like a vodka to sort of almost like a chocolate, like a dark chocolate black.
Like molasses almost like, right?
Yeah.
And we have different regions of the world here. So we're going to dip through each and every one of these ones and give you guys some recommendations on some of the drinks we've already done either on our show or some drinks that maybe you can use it for. And then also, too, some of the locations where they're from, some of the characteristics of them, and some history on them. Cool.
And I get to kind of guinea pig all of these, eh?
It's terrible, I know.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard life being me.
That's the price you pay for being a co-host.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just wondering how I'm going to survive tomorrow's headache. But,
yeah, that's right.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you might have to call in ill.
Yeah, well,
not sick, ill.
Yeah, ill. Yeah.
That's right. I'm not sick, I'm ill.
Under the weather. Under the weather. Yeah.
Wait, is that a Vancouver term?
Well, you're always under some kind of weather when you're in Vancouver.
That's right.
Most of the time it's damp.
That's right. Damp and cold. You could say bone chilling.
Yeah, it gets in your bones. It absolutely does.
Well, because we're at that stage now, right, where it is. We're transitioning from summer to fall to almost like borderline winter now, right?
Well, in Ottawa, yeah. But I'll tell you, man, we've been having 17-degree days here. And Vancouver is kind of hovering, last I checked, it's hovering around 10 degrees. And I guarantee you it's wet and chilly.
We're basking in the sun here then, eh?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I'll take
this. I'll take this any day of the week.
There we go.
Including today.
There we go. Well, we're in the basement in the dungeon of hell, so
this is true.
No sun down here.
No. Come on, Craig. Don't call your house hell.
That's right. It is a dungeon, though. So
yeah, it is a bit, yeah. Well, like I said, with all these sound-absorbing curtains, it looks a bit like the beginning of an episode of Dexter, or maybe the end of an episode of Dexter, but So far, no, stabbing. So
There you go. We'll just stay on the plastic, okay?
yeah. Oh! I hadn't noticed that. Huh. Oh, funny. Wait.
Well, see,
probably best not to
here's
ask
the
why you
theory.
have it.
Well, because see, I can't afford to have two co's, so somehow or another I have to transition to one. So, and I seduce you with rum, and then it's like a kid with candy.
Yeah. Note to self: don't pass out.
Okay, so let's go through the ones we're going to do. So we're going to do the first one we're going to do is from Florida Cana. So so the first one is coming from Nicaragua, and this is an aged rum. And so here's some cool facts about it. So distillation process, it's column distilled, and we'll kind of break that down in a bit there for you guys. And actually, what we'll do is we'll actually add videos on the episode of what column still it is and what pot still is. There are two different processes.
I see.
And it's kind of hard to describe it on audio. So we'll add some visual aids for you guys.
Now, can you remind me
Yes.
what the distinction is between aged and non-aged rum? Or
So almost everything out there is aged. So the requirements, though, when you actually put aged on it, it has to be at least 3 years.
okay,
So it means you can't just distill it and then put it into a bottle and away you go.
right.
Well, tequila example. So tequila actually doesn't need to be aged. You can literally distill it and put it into a bottle and away you go. Vodka, same way. You don't need to age it.
Yeah. But
Still
if
it,
you're doing
put it in the bottle.
scotch or something like
Or
that,
this,
yeah,
or
like
rums,
the
whatever.
darker ones, it seems, quite honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, to the distillation process, it's in white oak barrels that are used for bourbon.
Oh.
So basically, it's got that bourbon in the wood.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a little bit of oak, and you're going to get a little bit of sort of spicy.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I would expect to, have some sweetness to it as well. Although, I mean, I guess with rum, you're using molasses and stuff.
Yeah, so you only have
it's
sweetness
gonna be
already.
sweet, right?
Exactly, yeah. So here's some history about the Florida Cana. The distillery actually was situated on the side of a volcano.
Cool.
Yeah. So the volcano soil is rich in minerals. So therefore, the climate makes the aging process nice and complex and an amazing spirit.
Okay.
Company's been around since 1890.
Wow, okay. So it's been around the block a couple of times.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is every one of these, we're going to smell them, tell you what we smell, and then we're going to taste them and give you guys a kind of a description of exactly what you're getting into.
Right. Now, should I be sort of swirling this like one would wine,
just
or
like
does it?
scotch, you
Yeah,
get
or
a little bit of a
scotch,
swirl,
yeah.
right? So it kind of releases some of the tangents in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually do smell like some butterscotch in here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the vanilla for sure I smell in that too.
Yeah. I smell now. I mean, maybe this is just a function of the alcohol, but it's got a fairly pronounced alcohol smell as well.
Exactly.
like distinct.
Well, I hate to say it, but you're gonna find.
Yeah. You're probably and this is the first one.
And this is the first one there.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try it without ice, just like scotch. So if everyone knows about scotch, what it is that you smell scotch or taste scotch, but as soon as you put any water or any ice in it, it actually releases a lot of the elements of the scotch.
Yeah.
So the rum is sort of the same process,
like opening it up, right?
Exactly. So we're gonna do without the ice, and then take another sip with the ice.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, it definitely tastes like pepper.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's very spicy because of the age process, right? So we're going to get that for sure. Almonds is a kind of an aftertaste I'm getting.
I don't actually detect the almond.
Is it on the after? Well, for me anyway, I can tell on the afterburn. I can taste it's a little bit, and it is got a bit of a burn. So yeah, for sure.
It reminds me a bit of when I was a kid. I would raid my parents' liquor cabinet. Well, not a kid, but you know what I mean.
No,
I
we
was
know
nigh
what you
on 6 years old there, 1906. There's a bit of like blended whiskey flavor to it a little bit.
I guess that's because of the bourbon barrels, right? You might get a bit of the whiskey in there.
It goes down very smoothly though.
Yeah, actually, I'm very surprised. So if you don't mind, Cam, you're in charge of ice.
Oh, I gotcha. Hold on, 2
Just pull
seconds
the
here.
we're gonna pull the ice cube. There we go. I'm going to describe the situation right now. Cam is reaching into our deep ice cube make cooler. Yes,
One,
please.
Cube. Okay, I'll
And
do
pulling
the
out
same.
one ice cube just for me. There we go.
Okay.
So now we added a little bit of ice.
Now, is there any kind of guideline on how long you should let the ice
just let it. Here you go.
let it rip? Okay.
Yeah. It does sort of settle it down a bit, so the pepper's not as present,
Right.
for sure. But it's actually pretty nice. I like that. It's yeah.
With with just a single cube in it, or sort of odd shaped bit of ice.
Are you knocking on my ice cubes?
No, not at all. It smooths it out a lot, and it makes it a lot easier to I don't need to concentrate on as much on how I'm actually swallowing.
Correct.
Without kind of getting a smooth kind of sense. Yeah. Oh, that's very nice.
So this is also a good rum for mixing, obviously, into a drink, like say a Navy grog, or even if you're doing a Mai Tai, you might actually want to add that as one of the rums you're going to use. But as you can see, like we were talking with Cam there, you could actually just add this on ice on the rocks, and it's a nice slow sipping cocktail.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be, sucking this back super fast.
No, this is a sipping. Yeah, if you're. By the way, folks, yeah, for most of these rums, if you are drinking them straight, neat or on the rocks, it is a sipping process. It's like drinking scotch. You're not going to wolf it down. Yeah, for sure.
Now, what does a bottle of this run?
So a bottle of that is going to run you. It is a little more expensive, about $35 to $40.
Okay, but that's not for
Canada. That's not too bad for an aged rum. That is not too bad.
Yeah, and it's 750 mil. So you're looking at it's a little more expensive, but not it's not breaking the bank.
No, for sure. Yeah. All right, so that is the first one.
Okay.
I'll put this aside.
Well, and I can feel it. I can feel it.
Are you nice and warm and tingly?
Yeah,
now?
I was about to say no. Like I've got a bit of a flush going.
You know what? Actually, this is a good time to do this episode though, because we're going into a cold season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a good
Halloween's just around the corner. Canadian Thanksgiving is literally around the corner.
Yeah, it is this weekend pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's good to do this episode because then people will be sitting there like in the wintertime and like, what do I want to drink? And if you're not a Scotch drinker, like I'm not a Scotch drinker whatsoever, this is a good substitute. Yeah. This is a good
well, and it's sweeter than Scotch.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. All right, so you're gonna grab the next one there.
Okay, so
that's
the next one is the
Cruisin'.
Cruisin'.
Yes, there we are. This is an aged as well.
Yeah. So this is like if you're wandering the streets looking for love.
Cruisin'. All right, so the next rum we're gonna do here is actually Cruisin' rum.
Much lighter color.
Yes, it is actually. It's very light. It's almost like, so let's just talk about colors as well. So this is what would you call this? Like almost a yellowish.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is that this without ice appears similar to the Florida Cana with ice. Yeah,
exactly.
So a translucent.
But it looks kind of like gold, like if you were doing
or caramel.
Caramel, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and so let's just go through this one. So the location of this one is from St. Croix, which is the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is an aged gold rum, actually, and like we just said, actually, it does kind of look like a gold rum.
Yeah.
The history of it is really kind of cool. So the distillery actually was founded in 1760.
Jeepers!
I know, way back then, before my time. Exactly. So they actually claim in the distinction of the most honorable rum distillery in the world, and the largest supplier of American private and distributor labeled rum. Now, so I also think I've told in the past, we actually have done Cruisin' rum in one of our profiles. Cruisin' actually got its name because in St. Croix, the population of St. Croix, is called Cruisin'.
Okay.
So if you live there, that's called. You're called Cruisins.
I see. Okay.
And that's where it came from. So let's go through the distillation process. So it is a 5-column distill.
Okay.
And again, we're going to show this video to just kind of explain how that works.
Is there a distinction between like 5-column, 4-column? Is it like
so for each
more and more
refinement? You're refining it more and more.
So, sort of the equivalent. I know with like lots of vodkas, they like an advertising comment will be triple charcoal filtered and that type of
exactly.
thing.
Okay. Now triple charcoal is a different thing because what you're doing is you're actually washing out the elements.
Okay. No. Okay.
So this is adding to the elements.
This is specific. Okay. So this is triple or quintuple distilled.
Exactly, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's actually aged in charred American oak barrels for 2 to 4 years minimum.
Okay.
And the proof of this is 80 proof, so 40% alcohol, just like everything else we do.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so let's see what it smells like. Okay, so smell that.
Lots of vanilla. Lots and lots of vanilla.
For sure, vanilla. And it's very subtle. Like it's not, like you said, the very first one was very like boozy, almost like.
Yeah, like almost medicinal, but this is
not boozy at all.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
No, this is the type of thing that if I didn't know it contained alcohol, would be sort of a tasty treat with cake kind of thing.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give it a swirl and see what we say here. Okay, it's a little more peppery than it smells.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So the smell is very subtle, but the taste is very like kick.
Yeah, no, and I'd say like it smells sweet, but the flavor is peppery.
Peppery, yeah. Almost like a nutty licorice kind of.
Oh, you're getting some like anise or like
yeah,
the
it's
licorice
almost
flavor.
that kind of or the kind of like there's nuts, like there's some sort of nutty flavor in there.
Very
All right,
nice.
so
All right, let's get the ice.
let's get the ice and see how this works.
Good thing I washed my hands before this.
Oh, I had never thought of that one. Oh my god, wow.
I was raised right.
And I did pick Cam off the street, so I don't know what's
That's
going to happen
true,
there. Yeah. All right,
I was cruising.
done. All right, so
Okay.
with ice.
With ice.
Okay, it's still peppery.
Still peppery and like the strong vanilla smell is still there.
Yeah, it actually has a burn to it at the end of it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
On the tongue. Yeah.
on the tongue. Yeah.
But it actually, with the ice, it feels like the flavors blend a little bit better. So
Yeah.
there isn't sort of a distinct, almost like an on-off switch between the odor and the taste.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
initially it was like, okay, it smelled vanilla-y
Yeah.
and sweet, but then it's kind of like
Peppery.
Peppery, yeah.
So it's kind of now it's complementing it in some ways, for sure. Well, yeah. So you can use that in, let's say, a pina colada. You can use that in a painkiller. A Navy grog, of course, you could do that as well. Yeah, I think that's all I have written down there. Yes.
So is there a big distinction between rums you would use in a mix, like to make a cocktail, and rums that are sort of more specific for sipping by themselves? Like not necessarily straight, but
Yeah, exactly. So good question. So what it is that some of these rums, when you combine them together or with other elements, actually will give you a very distinctive taste. And we're going to find that out. Example, like because of the Pooser's rum, for sure, we're going to see that, and the Gosling, which is a very dark rum.
Okay.
There's lots of molasses in there, so that is going to bring out that into a drink if you're mixing it, and it tastes like on a neat perspective, like on its own. We can already see already there's a difference between those two already.
without question.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one smells sweet and it's got a pepper kind of vanilla taste to it, and the other one was more of butterscotch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they both have notes of vanilla, but absolutely in terms of the smell,
Yeah.
totally
different.
The cruisin' is much more pronounced.
Exactly. It's like you said, it's got that sweet smell to it. Whereas
It's a bit deceptive, actually.
Yeah, and so in the Florida can, it was very. You could smell the booze. Like it's very boozy,
Yeah,
right?
medicinal.
Yeah, for sure. So that's that one. Oh, right, very good. Okay, so pass me the bottle. We're going to just sort of knock them off as we go along here.
Probably a good plan.
Yeah, keep the bottles off the desk there.
Yeah, so I don't knock them off the desk.
Or that, I just turn my back and like, wait, there was a bottle there a second ago.
Yeah.
Now, Cam, I had to go
What,
all the way
this bump
down.
under my shirt? No. That's just a weird growth I've got.
I had to go all the way to St. Thomas to get that bottle now.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Well, it's funny. So I have to tell people. So we have kids in the house. And it's funny because when I first moved in and started growing this repertoire of rums and liquor and just in general, like we all did it when we're, when you're a teenager or your friends come over and like, hey, let's raid your
check it
medicine.
out. Yeah.
Let's raid your mom's medicine, your liquor cabinet, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had to explain to him like, here's some bottles that if you're going to raid, take these ones. Almost like
Like don't take any, but if you're going to,
these are the ones you're going to take because some of these are like I'm never going to be able to get them again.
right? Yeah.
It's like-
and then we won't have any murders in this house.
That's right. So if you want to live, you'll leave these bottles alone.
Righto.
Okay, so going on to the next one. This is called Plantation. This actually is one I just bought this very recently.
Okay.
It's Plantation rum. It's 3 years pale rum.
Now it says 3 stars right there on the front.
Yes. So let me explain it. I mean, actually, you can see it right on the bottle. So what does it say underneath the 3 stars there? It's 3
Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad.
Right. So what it is, those 3 stars are the top rum producers in Caribbean.
I see.
In the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
So this actually is a blend of Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad.
Okay.
Yes, all 3 areas.
Right.
So let's go through that. So what it is that Plantation actually is a blender. They don't make their own rum.
I understand.
So what they do is they buy rum from these 3 different countries, and then they blend it together and come out with this product called Plantation. Barbados is twin, column, and pot stilled.
I see.
Trinidad is column stilled, and Jamaica is pot stilled.
Okay.
Yeah, in old cognac barrels.
I see. Okay.
Yes. So there's some history to this. So let's talk about this. So the history of this is actually Alexander Gabriel, who's the president and owner of the Cognac Fernand.
I see.
So actually he made cognac.
Okay, yeah, no, I was actually, that's the word I was looking for with the initial one, the fleur, or pardon me.
Fleur de Cana.
Yeah, the fleur de cana is that it had a bit of a cognac-y
Oh, okay.
feel to it.
Like a brandy taste to it.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this guy used to make cognac, and so then he also got into the business of rum. And so the barrels that he makes cognac in are super demand. Like everybody wants them.
Okay.
He actually uses those barrels to make this rum. Very good. So actually, what's cool about this too is that the Jamaican portion of the rum is composed of 2 Jamaican styles.
Oh.
The unaged rum, which contributes to that Jamaican funk. So it's got a bit of a funk to it.
Okay.
And a small amount of very expensive 12-year-old rum.
I see.
So they took 2 different rums in Jamaica and blended them together to make the Jamaican part of that.
So really, I mean, although this is blended from rums from 3 separate locations,
they've also blended as well.
They've been blended as well.
So
wow,
we got
it's a blend of a blend.
Of blending here.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the history of it. So actually, like I said, it comes from Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad, and it is a light rum. So this is a pale rum.
Yeah.
Something that you would use for like making, like say, a daiquiri or something. Something that is light rum. So a daiquiri or a pina colada, something that requires white or light rum.
Right. Now I have to admit, I'm a little bit trepidatious about this because white rum and I have a bumpy, a rocky history, if you will.
Well, let's explain salsa too. So white rum for me, anyways, I don't know about you. White rum it goes through the charcoal process, right? And so what it ends up happening is they strip away some of the characteristics of it. We will see, obviously, there's gonna be some characteristics in it.
Yeah.
But I find that white rum's almost in the same characteristics as vodka.
Yeah.
Like the burn process and the taste is not much there.
Yeah.
It's kind of subtle.
Well, yeah, and it's got sort of a weird aftertaste. Like it's not a vodka aftertaste. It's a white rum aftertaste.
Yeah. But I mean, in some ways, when you're making, say, a pina colada or you're making a daiquiri, you don't want a rum that's going to be pronounced. It's going to overbear.
Yeah, like on the sugars and everything you've got in there.
It's going to take away from all the other characteristics. Like, say, some pina colada, you don't want to take away from the banana and the coconut. You want those to be prominent, right? You want those to be out front. So this is kind of like fills the gap of the alcohol content, but doesn't actually bring anything to the table as a way of taste in a mixed drink.
Sure.
Now, as a single on its own, we're going to find out. So let's just take a smell of this and see what it smells like.
Oh, this actually isn't quite as horrible as I was anticipating.
Rosé.
It's got, what is that? Smell. There's a tiny bit of vodka.
Yeah.
Or like vodka
It's like
and
mint.
a little bit.
Smelling mint or anything?
I'm getting
candy,
a very, yes, almost like
candy.
I'm still getting a little bit of vanilla. But then sort of like almost a like an artificial candy flavor. Yeah.
Right. And actually, I don't know about you, but I can smell like almost orange peel in there. A little bit of,
Oh, maybe that's what I'm smelling.
Yeah. So it actually does have quite a lot of layers to it,
There's
which
some
is weird
butter in
because
there
for a white rum. So let's just give that a sip. Okay, so it's soft on the palate.
Very soft.
It almost it's if there's any layers to it, it's very hidden. Like it's not like
very subtle.
There's nothing prominent in there. It's just sort of there, you know.
I'm tasting the orange more than I was smelling it actually, or like the citrus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of smoke.
Yeah, some smoke in there. There's some orange in there. I could sort of taste.
Yeah.
I could smell and probably taste a little bit of the mint as it's in there as well. And it's supposed to be also too a real impression of.
I have to admit, this is significantly
sugar in there, but that's
maybe that. Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Brown sugar.
This is a significantly tastier white rum than the old Bacardi I used to get in trouble with.
Well, the thing is Bacardi, and I use Bacardi for some drinks, but the problem is that Bacardi strips it so much.
Yeah.
It loses all of its character, right? So no, so it smells great. It's subtle. So this is like if you're doing the rums, this is probably a good one to start off with.
It's not overpowering.
And
in any
guess
way.
what? The price on this was $24.
Oh, brilliant!
So it's a good price for a good rum.
Yeah.
This actually would be a good rum to use for a white rum in all of our recipes instead of the Bacardi. Again,
Adds a bit more character.
It gets a little more character to it, and you're going to get a little more of a balance to it, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree on the balance part. There isn't that weird, for me anyway, the weird Bacardi aftertaste.
Exactly, yeah. All right, Cam, so you have
I'm
your
the
job.
Iceman.
You're the Iceman. Iceman.
There we go.
And the funny thing is, like the tray is below the table level, so I'm not quite sure exactly where he's getting the ice from. But just
best not to ask.
That's right. Okay, so we've mixed some ice into this now.
Interestingly, I can smell more of the alcohol.
Yeah, it does bring up the alcohol. Now
Yeah.
it does. Yeah, I can smell more of the alcohol content of it. And it actually does have more of that vodka burn to it now.
Wow, that's really weird.
So
I wouldn't have expected that. Yeah.
Don't be adding ice to this then, I guess.
I would tend to agree, actually. Yeah, it tasted better and actually more subtle. Neat. Yeah.
Oh, so let's explain that if you haven't listened to the show before. So neat means that you're adding no ice to it. It's just straight up whatever it is. You also hear the word too, straight up. That also means neat and
Straight
no
up,
ice.
now tell me
Exactly.
it's gonna be you.
Oh
and
my
me
God, it's
forever.
Cam's karaoke hour here. And then when you
like,
hear on the rocks,
Paula
that's...
Abdul.
You had a fantasy about her, didn't you?
I mean, a fantasy.
Oh, okay. This is about tiki cocktails. We don't have time for your
was just,
fantasy ploy there.
Dreaming about maybe saying hi if I bumped into her on the street. What the hell were you thinking about, you weirdo?
Wait, is she on your list?
No.
Oh, okay. Because me and Paula talked about that one episode. There's like, we all have our list. Yeah. No. So, actually, our recommendation is, so drinks for this would be like the daiquiri or pina colada, anything with white rum. But if you're going to drink it straight or neat, I think is the way I would go. I don't know about you.
I'd agree, actually. I mean, obviously, you don't overdo it, but
yes.
It was more drinkable without the ice.
As soon as we added ice, it's almost like it just added booze to it. Like it just added like the alcohol content to it. And it's just a 41.2% alcohol. Okay, so it's a little higher than norm. Yeah. There we go. And so that is the plantation.
Very tasty.
There we go. Okay, so this is Poose's rum.
Okay.
So.
Okay, now this is definitely a caramelly. It's darker than the
Florida Cana?
Florida Cana. I'm not.
Let's see here. I'm gonna put that there beside you there.
Oh yeah, without question.
Yeah. So it's darker than the Florida Cana, but this is funny. This is not a dark rum.
No.
This is not a dark.
Okay.
Rum. It is obviously aged. I mean, all rums are aged.
But it's kind of sort of more of a middle of the road color, I guess.
Yeah, but also too, it is also a blend.
Okay.
It does say on the bottle aged 3 years, so basically, obviously 3 years is the requirement. It is 42% alcohol. This one as well.
Okay.
So this is a British rum.
Right, and isn't this the one?
This is the one we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, so in the Navy, this would be this is the one where some of the
sailors would be portioned out on their daily rations.
Right.
From 1655, actually, all the way to 1970, where we talked about Black Tot Day.
Right.
It wasn't available to the public until 1979. So it took 9 years after Black Tot for them to say, well, we got the surplus. Well, the thing that's cool about it is, so every time you buy a bottle of Poose's rum, by the way, folks, you are contributing to the British Retirement Fund. Some of the money goes towards the Retirement Fund for the British Navy. So you actually are doing a good cause.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's a blend. Here's another blend again. It's from Jamaica, Trinidad, the British Guyana, and Barbados. So all four of those are blended into this.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all original British territories.
Sure. Yeah, no, I guess that makes sense.
Some of them are not now, but yeah. So the distilling process, pricing, 4 rums in American pricing. The distilling process is it's a Navy strength rum, so it's 54.5% alcohol. I didn't see that.
Okay. The stuff that we've got, it looks like 42. So,
yeah, if you're in the States, it's 50.
Right. Yeah. No, for the Canadian market, they probably have to
lower it down.
Yeah, because it's not considered like an overproof rum.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Anyway, So, anyways, it's distilled in double wooden pot stills. So it's a double pot stills, but it's double process. And it's aged in charcoal oak bourbon barrels. Another bourbon barrel. A lot of these rums we're going to find are actually in bourbon barrels. Yeah. So Americans
try saying that like 3 times fast.
3 times bourbon barrels. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I did pretty good on that one. So like I said, so the history of this, like I said, was 1655. It was portioned out to the Navy SEALs. And again, the Navy sailors.
Right.
On daily rations. It would be twice a day.
Right.
And then eventually, like we said, Black Tot, 1970, they stopped rationing it out.
Right.
Because they couldn't operate the ships.
Suddenly all this technology got in the way.
It's like, damn, I had to push a button now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a smell. Let's see what it smells like.
Okay. To me, it's got a really, like a very brandy-ish odor.
I'd say, yeah. It definitely has a brandy or like you said, cognac smell to it.
And the alcohol is present, but it's not
overbearing.
It's not the main smell.
No. Yeah, because it's almost like, when we talked about the bourbon or the alcohol smell, it's almost like it's burning your nose.
Yeah.
This is not burning my nose.
No, it's just a little tickle.
It's
Whereas
subtle.
Sometimes the alcohol smell, it almost smells like rubbing alcohol or something. Like it's really kind of a bit of a smack in the face.
No, this is definitely
Okay,
so
let's try the old taste.
Definitely got the alcohol taste in there.
Oof, yeah.
It's peppery.
Yep.
It's got a bit of pepper in there.
There's right on the back of my tongue, I've got a bit of chocolate.
Yeah, so it says here butterscotch and molasses.
Yeah, okay. No, that could be it.
Slight tinge of maybe a small tinge of caramel in there, not much, but yeah, I can taste that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd definitely say more butterscotch than
Butterscotch
caramel.
for sure, yeah. And the molasses in there, because it's if you've ever had molasses when you're a kid, it's like it's
well, and it's on the after breath. Like I can taste it through my nose when I'm breathing out after I've I don't know what the right term is for that.
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, let's try her with
with
some
ice
rocks.
there. All right, Iceman, give me a shot there. Here we go. And no, those were not sound effects. That's
That's a real McCoy.
That's right. Okay, so toned it down quite a bit.
Yeah, you see, I'm finding at least smell-wise,
it still smells the same.
The molasses is really, to me anyway, it sticks out a bit more.
Yeah, and it's weird because you can still smell like the alcohol, like you said, sort of tickling your throat, like the smell, your nose. Tickling your nose. But then the taste is subtled down. It's narrowed down.
It's interesting actually because the alcohol taste I think it has remained the same.
Yeah.
It's just that the other flavors have been muted, and so
like the pepper.
And so the alcohol flavor comes out a bit stronger. Mm-hmm. So what would this one be good for?
So this is actually the one they use for the painkiller, and actually that is a registered cocktail, which means that if you buy a painkiller at a bar, they actually have to use Pooster's rum.
Okay, so it's sort of copyrighted, written.
Exactly,
copywritten. No, copyrighted, I think.
Okay, Mr. English professor over there.
Well, I know. I just like to get these things correct.
Exactly. And then the rum Swizzler. So if you go down to our episodes and you go to the rum Swizzler, which actually was from Bermuda, they use Pooster's rum for that as well, because obviously one of the products that comes from this is from Bermuda.
Sure.
Yeah, so those are two drinks that you can use this for. So what's your recommendation? Do you think this is could you use this as on its own? Or what's your thoughts on that?
So I'm really tasting, like, the aftertaste is quite molassesy.
Right.
And I'm not a huge fan of molasses.
Exactly.
I think it would, we're just sipping a little bit here, folks. We're not, sucking these back. Yep. But I feel that, if I had, a couple of glasses of it, so to speak, I think that even though, it doesn't seem sticky or anything, it's almost tricking me into feeling like...
Yeah,
like my lips are
actually dry now.
Yeah, but it's like I've got stickiness on the sides of my lips, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'd be keen to drink it
on its own.
Yeah,
no, it probably is a good mixer. Good for cocktails for sure, obviously, especially those two drinks in particular because they have history. If it's on its own, I think this would probably be, if you're starting out rums, this probably would not be one that you want to try on its own.
Right.
For sure, we'll give that recommendation for sure. Okay, so the next one we're going to try here is the Bacardi Reserva. Is that right to say? Reserva?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So Bacardi Reserva, 8-year rum.
Okay, and we were just, dissing Bacardi, so...
I know. But in our defense, this is not the white rum.
So definitely not.
No,
definitely not.
This is an aged rum
Beautiful
for sure.
caramel color, really.
Exactly, yeah for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, this is one of my favorite bottles, actually. I use quite a lot of it.
Yeah?
The reason why I use a lot of it is because the Mai Tai actually casts for all these different blends of rums and stuff.
Sure.
I find that this is a good one to use if you just want to use one rum on a Mai Tai.
Okay.
And a lot of people that have drank my Mai Tai say that they love the finish, the rum finish that comes off it.
Right.
So we're going to try this, and then you'll be able to tell me exactly what you think.
Okay. Now, and this is, well, give me some details about this rum, because you mentioned, is it a blended rum?
This is a blended rum.
Okay.
So the youngest rum that's in there is 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's going to be several blends of rum in there. And so what it is also too, folks, let me just explain something. When you buy a bottle of something, we probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show, is that when you buy a bottle, say, of anything, rum, whiskey, bourbon, those ones basically as well, not so much vodka and tequila, but more of those other, but other ones. What ends up happening is that the brewmaster, or so the distiller, what he's going to do is he's going to taste all the different barrels that are on that batch.
Right.
Then he has other batches, obviously, from different years.
Sure.
Right? And so what ends up happening is that he actually will take the best barrels of that year and then blend them with other years. So when it says 8 years, and I said like this is the youngest one that's in here, this could have an 8-year-old in here, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, whatever, all blended. And actually the
8-year-olds should not be drinking.
That's it. Exactly. I know. Yeah. I've always thought that that's gonna be some crazy ass job, eh? Yeah. Like you're just tasting rum all day long.
My goodness.
And then just say, well, barrel number 2, barrel number 5, and barrel number 10.
It must require like the constitution of a gorilla just to maintain your senses.
Exactly.
I mean, even because I've been
I've been just sipping
little bits, but it's
got some kick to it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like you must have some serious what's the word I'm looking for? Tolerance.
Yeah, like a strong constitution.
Did he build that up or something? Like through time, I guess.
Practice, practice, practice.
That's what they always said about the violin, didn't they?
Yeah.
We must practice, practice, practice.
Hey, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? One step at a time.
That's right.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Oh, God. All right, so this actually is a Puerto Rico rum, and it actually is aged, like we said. And so it was created in 1862 from Bacardi, and it actually is one of the oldest private rum blends in the world. Yes. Now, if you know anything about Bacardi, we talked about this, I think, in episode 5, I think it was with Cuba. Bacardi actually originally was on Cuba.
Right.
So if you notice, there's actually the bat symbol on the front of the Bacardi.
Right.
So what ended up happening was that he actually bought a plantation, and on the plantation there was caves. And the caves actually had bats.
Right.
And so that became the symbol that we see now on the top of Bacardi.
I see.
But Bacardi went from Cuba, and then what ended up happening was that Castro came into play.
Right.
And said that we're going to take all your assets. And of course, Bacardi was like, no.
Right.
So then they moved to Puerto Rico. And the reason why they went to Puerto Rico is because in Puerto Rico, when they bottled this, they actually don't have to pay any duties.
Right, because it's American territory.
Exactly.
Right.
And so they don't pay any duties when they actually make this Bacardi.
Okay.
I think that's all I have for the history. So let's, let's go to the distillation process. Sorry, again, column still distilled, and again, aged oak barrels.
Okay.
So the smell, it's very subtle. It's not very overpowering at all.
No, it smells very smooth. I mean, there is the hint of alcohol and a hint of, the brandy or the cognac, but not as strong.
I definitely smell like again, caramel in there.
There's a sweetness.
A sweetness to it, like maybe vanilla or something.
Yeah, just like sort of.
And cinnamon, I think, I get smelling that too, I think. Like kind of that pepper, like this, that cinnamon has like that spicy to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we got. And like you said, it's like kind of a gold color.
Yeah.
So we'll go. Okay, we'll wash this down. Here we go. Okay, so that's not as strong as I thought it was going to be.
No, that's very smooth.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
Superly subtle. It's just so subtle. Like
it's nice actually. Like I could see myself, sitting by a crackling fire,
and it's
having
gonna
a
be
snifter of this.
Nice and toasty warm.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it.
And nice and warm now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of nice to be down here. I was chilly when we first came down, but I've been warming up nicely.
Yeah. So again, I can taste the caramel in there. I don't know what you're smelling. I can taste a little bit of oak, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and it's got a bit of a bite at the end.
At the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Definitely some oak. Definitely some oak. Yeah.
Oak in there because that's the
bit of
barrel,
scotchiness. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's add an ice cube into that. Let's see how we get there. And so this is one of the reasons why actually I picked this for the Mai Tai, because it is being the only rum in the Mai Tai. As you can see, it's not overbearing. It's not going to bring the drink down.
Yeah.
Because it is, you're dealing with a tropical drink. You don't want it to be like boozy.
Just pure rum flavor.
Right. So it kind of helps in that Okay, so we've added the ice, as you can hear. There we go. Okay, so heighten the elements a little bit.
Yeah, I know it's much more muted.
The booze is definitely coming a little bit more.
Yeah,
the alcohol's coming a little bit more.
Yeah.
The burn's almost gone though. At the end, like the end taste.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have the bite. There's sort of I have like the tip of my tongue. I've got some spiciness going on there.
Yeah.
But not at the back of my tongue anymore.
Has the smell changed for you as well?
Stronger alcohol smell, but like we were saying, I think it's just maybe the other smells have been kind of muted a little bit by the water. I think this is another one that I preferred without ice. Yeah, neat. Yeah,
for sure. So there we go. So that is the Bacardi 8. So if you're doing a lot of tiki cocktails and you're like, Craig, I can't really afford to go off and buy 10 different bottles of rum. This is a good rum to use for almost anything that needs other than white rum. So say if somebody needs something aged or dark or whatever, this is a good rum to use for this, and this is about $30. So it's not too bad. It's good in the price range. You're getting a really good product, I think, for that. For being 8 years old at least, and it's very subtle. So yeah, you could say you could sniff this in a sniffer, have this on its own, and you're fine.
No, I'd be perfectly happy to sip away at this.
I'm sure you would.
Well,
we have other rums to drink there.
Excellent,
Kim.
Next.
Yep. Go. All right, so we're gonna do the El Dorado. Okay.
City of Gold.
Is that what it means?
El Dorado. Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. What wasn't? Yeah, there was somebody or other searching for El Dorado.
Gold. It's all gold. Cool. So we're gonna do the El Dorado Demerara rum. So Demerara. So let's explain what Demerara rum. So Demerara rum actually is like, so you know when you make a coffee and you make with white sugar, right? They taste a certain way.
Sure. Well, I don't usually, but yes, I understand.
Okay, so this is a symbolism here.
Yeah.
So if you use like white sugar on your coffee, now imagine making your coffee with a brown sugar.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is obviously going to have more of a molasses, sweeter taste to it.
Okay.
And it's from Guyana.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes, from Guyana. And so the distillation process is a 4-column distilled, put into American bourbon oak. Man,
Okay.
These guys are just selling oak.
Yeah.
They're making a fortune just on the barrels. Yeah. Well, we'd sell the whiskey, but the barrels make more money. So here we go.
There's gold in them there barrels.
So in Guyana, because of the high humidity and the steady temperature, it's much easier to make this rum, and you will see it actually in the taste of it. And like I said, it's blended. So we have 2 different age brackets we're doing here. We're going to do the 5-year first,
and
then the 12-year.
Okay, but otherwise they're the same, like conceptually they're the same rum
process.
Okay.
So it's distilled, it's column distilled and all this stuff in the oak bourbon barrels. So the history of this is Demerara Distillers Limited, so DDL, was actually by the British in the 1650s.
Okay, so another really old, quite frankly,
Yeah, now so this rum's been made since the 1650s, but the company El Dorado actually has only been around since 1992.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's relatively a new company in aspects, but the rum has been around for a long, long time.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the 5-year we're going to do now.
Okay.
So we're going to smell this.
A lot of butter.
Yeah.
Really, really buttery.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's something else in there, too.
Caramel, butter, a bit of butterscotch in there.
There's it's almost marzipan, so almond.
Oh, okay, almond.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So it's not boozy at all on the nose.
None
it's
whatsoever.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
It's very soft. Okay, so let's just Okay, so there's almost zero burn. It's very subtle. There's almost zero burn at all. Let me have to taste it again. So
a lot of viscosity. It's viscous. Like it's got a thickness to it.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just to taste the caramel in there, some oak, obviously from the aging process.
I really like this one. I like the butteriness of it.
Yeah, and the butter. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're going to add some ice.
Ice this sucker up.
Ice the sucker up. Here we go. And by the way, folks, we appreciate you guys listening to this because I know some people are kind of like, well, let's get back to the regular show, Craig. But we thought we'd bring this episode out because so many people have been asking us, like, what rums should I have? Craig, I don't want to buy 20 different rums. What are some recommendations? So this is what we're doing this for. All right, so with ice.
Caramel comes out much stronger.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can smell the caramel.
Well, or maybe it's butterscotch.
No, yeah, vanilla and butterscotch in there. Like it seems like it's a very common thing in all these rums, eh?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, at least
molasses,
in the dark rums. Yeah.
Again, super subtle, no burn.
Yeah, no sort of overwhelm, like no alcohol.
Now, I don't know about you, but almost like the ice almost washed it out.
Yeah.
Like the smell's still there.
Yeah, but the flavor is
completely gone.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it's washed out. So again, another one that if you want to do this as a soft, neat.
Yeah.
Wow. Because usually, you know what? It's funny because like when I went to a Scotch class, they say that they had the ice and when
it opens it up.
It opens it up. So this is almost like it does the reverse. It kind of brings out the alcohol, but then everything else shuts down.
Well, and I'm wondering also if there's a temperature. A function of temperature because like it's colder.
That's a good point.
It's colder now, and there's more liquid in it. Like it's not as thick as it tasted before.
True, it's very light now.
And and the odor.
It's the same odor almost.
Yeah, but much less.
Taste is washed right out.
Yeah.
So, okay, so again, this is a good one for mixing, for if you need an aged rum. This was about $30, so it wasn't too bad. $30 to $35, let me correct that again. But yeah, if you're drinking it on its own, neat, again, we guess we have to emphasize that again.
Yeah.
But the Demerara rum, so yeah, so you get a lot more of that, like I said, the butter,
Yeah.
the butterscotch, it's very nice. I like that. That's good.
Yep, I got to agree.
All right, so on to the 12-year.
So this is, okay, 12 years, so same formulation, so to speak.
Same
Yeah.
product,
Okay.
same history and everything else, so I don't have to obviously go through that process.
Right.
Also, too, like if you notice
Comes in
bottle.
more of a Drambuie bottle.
So the 5-year is like a regular 750, kind of tall and lean kind of guy. The 12-year is more of a short and
Squat.
stout
Yeah.
kind of process. And it also has a nice little seal on there.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so this is the 12-year-old. And again, this is Demerara rum, so it's made with like the brown sugar molasses. So, okay, smell.
Much more brandy cognac-y.
Yep, you're right.
There's still not, like, I can smell the booze, but it's not, like, I think that's just the brandy cognac-y smell. It's not present by itself.
No, I don't know about you, but is it like less buttery?
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's
a bit sharper.
So the age, yeah, it's gonna get a little sharper. It's gonna get a little more. All right. So.
Wow.
So it's a little more peppery.
Definitely pepperier.
Yep, for sure. I guess when you age it in a barrel,
there's some
sure.
cinnamon in there.
Yeah, cinnamon in there for sure. Not as much butter. It's a little.
Yeah, less viscous. It's really nice in its own right, though.
And it's weird because it's. I could taste the booze, but it's like no burn.
Yeah, it's
So
and it's inoffensive,
boozy
you
in
know.
some way,
Yeah.
but it's not the burn, like like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a good thing. I like that. Nothing worse. And this is one of the reasons why I don't drink vodka, because of the burn. I don't like the burn.
Yeah.
No, that's very. I like that.
And it seems a bit sweeter as well.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to add some ice
ice.
cubes. Here we go. Add some ice into that. Okay. So let's swirl that around. There we go. And by the way, yeah, if you do add ice, folks, just let it swirl around in the glass. Like, have you ever seen people do the brandy thing? You kind of just swirl it around a little bit in your glass, because it's going to open up anything that's in there. And then, yeah, so give it a smell. Okay, so the caramel came out of that for sure. I could definitely smell caramel more prominent now.
A lot of pepper still.
A lot of pepper, but like, I don't smell as much alcohol in it, though. It's softened up on the alcohol department.
Yep. And the sweetness comes out more. The sort of mid-tongue sweetness.
Yeah. So this is actually, so it actually makes it sweeter. Sweeter, and again, no burn, so it's a good thing.
It's quite pleasant. But I think, I think with this one actually, and it's close, but I think I kind of like it more on the rocks.
Yeah, so this would be the reverse.
Yeah.
So the 5-year recommendation for that is neat, because it seems like the ice kind of washes it out. And in the 12-year, it actually kind of adds to it.
Brings out some more, like,
Brings
more
more of the
subtlety
caramel and the subtleties.
Yeah.
And the good thing about both of these is that there's almost like no burn. And, for people that are not heavy drinkers, this is a good thing.
Yeah, well, and it mutes the cinnamon as well with the ice.
Yeah.
Because like the cinnamon was a little bit too strong initially, like without like neat.
Yeah.
So no, very nice.
Yeah, because it's okay to have a little bit of peppery, I find, in the background, like a hint of it. But when it comes to the foreground, it sort of takes away from everything else, right?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of this time I was in Cubs, like Cub Scouts, as they say down south. And I went on a camping trip, and it was the middle of winter. Now, I mean, this is out in BC, but we were on a mountain. We were on a ski hill, or like a ski mountain. So we were in snow and everything.
Okay.
And we'd been out, doing various, Cub Scouting things, all day, and like tobogganing. It was a great time. But we were all pretty, exhausted by the end of the day. And so we had a great big, almost a cauldron, right? But a great big pot full of like Lipton noodle soup, right? So it's like the little thin noodles, but like lots of it. And we kids, like, we were just devouring it with lots of bread and stuff. But I was a bit of a dawdler back in the day. I know, shocking.
You can come on,
quiet you. And so I was the last one to get soup.
Oh no!
And no, and it was fine. Like, it was put into the bowl, but then that was the last of the soup.
Right.
And I had my head turned for like 2 seconds, and one of my idiot quote unquote friends decided to be really funny to dump 5 packets of pepper into it.
Oh no!
And let me tell you, I was so hungry.
You ate it anyway.
I ate it, but boy, oh boy.
Oh my lord!
You don't want too much pepper.
No.
Yeah, you don't want too much pepper.
So there's a story for you folks, sort of like what that rum's all about.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. It also just brings to mind that kids are monsters.
I've noticed, actually, this is an observation, that since you've been drinking rum, that, way back in the days there, Craigie, when I was a Boy Scout there,
It brings out the storyteller in me,
like there should be a fireplace going somewhere, like, crack, crack, crack.
Well, in fact, I'm starting to have difficulty seeing straight. It has nothing to do with the rum.
So this is the end of part 1 of the rum tasting show. Stay tuned next month for part 2 of this great episode. And hey, please check out the rum page on our website with all the details of all the rums that we used on this show.
Well, I don't know about you, but I got informed. Guys, where's my drink?